What's up, guys? So it's a Friday, just finished off the last of my classes, and things keep getting busier and busier. School's busy, the business is busy, keeping up this YouTube channel is busy. I still have to sleep, I need to exercise. And what I realize is that as things get busier, what you have to learn to do is you have to learn to really silo off your mind. So compartmentalize your thought process based on what you're doing at that time. So when you're working, say when I'm working on my business, I must completely lock school out of my mind. When I'm at school, I must completely lock business out of my mind. When I'm trying to get ready to go to sleep, I need to lock all of that out of my mind because I need a good sleep to perform well tomorrow. So you get the idea. Oftentimes, and you must set time limits, right? This weekend, for example, I'm allocating 16 hours over the weekend of productive work time. And tonight I have, I think, about 5 hours left. So that's 21 hours of work. Now, what I'm saying in my mind is that, okay, 10 hours of that has to go towards studying for my school program. That leaves 11 hours left over. So I'm going to do about 8 hours of work on the business and then about 3 hours on other miscellaneous things I have to do, like going shopping, dealing with my personal finances, etc. Now, it's really important that I stick to that time allocation, and when I'm working, I'm not thinking about school. When I'm doing school, I'm not thinking about my business, and etc. So what the tendency is I would start working, let's say tomorrow, and I've allocated, let's just say 5 hours tomorrow to work. I'll get to 5 hours and there's still going to be a ton of stuff to do that I haven't gotten to. And it's going to be tempting to say, oh, let's just finish this one last thing. Let's just finish this one last thing. I end up working for 6.5 hours, but now I only have, an hour and a half of studying. So I've sabotaged that other priority because I took too long working. So what you have to do is make those time limits you set for yourself mean something. When I'm 4 hours in to my 5 hour scheduled work chunk, I need to treat it like I actually only have 1 hour left. And then I will do the most important things first and quickly and get it done. And then I'll stop after 5 hours. You have to do that. It's a hard concept to wrap your mind around. It's easy to talk about it. It's easy to, kind of nod your head as you listen to this video and you think you understand it. But most people don't know how to respect their own time, and especially people that have never been that busy in their life. More often than not, for most people, the quality of a task does not depend on how much time they have. It depends on kind of how much focus they have and the ability to finish it. So let's say you have a report for work. Most people, let's say it's due on a Monday and you get the report on Friday morning. So some people will work on it all of Friday and take the weekend off like they normally would and hand it on Monday. Some people that are really dedicated to doing a great job might, spend half a day Saturday or maybe all of Saturday and half a Sunday working on making this report perfect and then hand it in. So the determining factor is kind of their willpower and their ability to stay focused on it. But when you get truly busy, there are way more things to do than there is time. For me, for example, if I was to spend a day and a half on a work task, that's going to mean I do not have the time to complete other tasks, which will hurt me. So my limiting factor is literally the amount of hours in a day. I'm a big believer that you do have to schedule proper sleep, proper exercise, and as humans, we're social creatures, so you need to schedule in, time to socialize with your friends, with your significant other, if you're dating someone. This is important for your long-term health. So, these are factors, right? You have social, your health, and all the other things. So time management becomes absolutely vital. And what I would encourage you guys to do is really put a lot of value in the time limits you set for yourself. When you plan 3 hours of homework, 5 hours of building my business, stick to that, right? Even if it's at the short-term detriment of the task at hand. Even if you say, man, I should have planned 4 hours for studying and 4 hours for work instead of 5 and 3. You know what? In the long run, building the habit of following that your initial time allocation will give you the self-confidence that you are going to stick to what you plan to do. And next time you plan for the next weekend, you'll have a better plan. Whereas if you keep waffling back and forth and changing what you plan to do, even if it's better in the short term, you will lose trust in the long-term process. And in the long term, you're not going to be nearly as effective. Downtown Saskatoon here, the main attraction, tourist attraction, is this hotel behind me. Kind of looks like a castle.
Well, like a teacup, something around
there it is, the Besborough is hotel here in Saskatoon. It's interesting being in a smaller town. City, town, I think it's, I actually don't know the exact population of Saskatoon. I think it's between maybe 100,000 and 100,000 to 200,000 people in the metropolitan area. Could be less, I don't know. My hometown is Victoria, British Columbia, which had about 300,000 in the greater metropolitan area. I always find there's a different vibe in a smaller city compared to a big city. The people are, you can just sort of tell there's that small town feel. I actually find that people are a little bit more genuine here, in that in a big city, everyone is addicted to the next exciting thing, the next big thing. People have such large social circles, but here people are a bit more stable. They appreciate day-to-day things a little more. So it's kind of cool to note the differences. I really miss the energy of a big city already, but for a couple months, I don't mind hanging out here. It has its charm. They call it the Paris of the Prairies. Nice little river back there. Just walking up to the river now here. Have a little kind of Greek looking structure. But the river's actually pretty nice. I'll show you guys in a second as I get right up here. It's not bad. Check it out. Here's some birds in the background. I think it's a good skill to be able to really make the most of whatever environment you're in and appreciate whatever it has to offer. So it's nice to have a switch from a bigger city for a little while. It's also very sunny here. Vancouver's a rainy place, so I like the sun. There's been studies done actually that in places where there's more sun, people are happier and less depressed. There was a story I read about some city, I forget exactly where it was, but it was between two valleys, and they actually installed a giant mirror to give it natural sunlight. And it helped the people there because they were depressed. They had a high rate of depression due to the lack of natural sunlight. I'm a big believer in choosing the environment that works for you, which again is one of the reasons that I needed to start a business and couldn't just work a 9-to-5 job, because it locks you to one place. And the place that is right for you in the summer might be not right for you in the winter. For example, I love Vancouver in the summer, but it's honestly too cloudy in the winter. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap her up. Friday night here, got a bit of work to do. Until next time.